The more important your thoughts are, the more you focus on thought. But the thought that you're focused upon is the thought that's going to bring more thoughts. So by making thoughts so important, all you do is parlay wherever you are into greater and greater and greater construction. Where if you let emotion be what you're reaching for, it's a softer way of diffusing and deactivating the thought. So let's say that you've been focused and you've been working and you've been trying and you've been worrying and you've got some thoughts going on that you can feel are not all that productive because you feel some stress. Well, what's going on is, as you're thinking those thoughts and those thoughts are finding other thoughts like them, there's some construction happening. In other words, you're building these roadways further and further away from who you really are. So when you think about that, in other words, when you think about no longer wanting to think that thought, you're thinking about that thought that you no longer want to think about. It's sort of what we were talking about the difference between considering all of the things in the world or just reaching for an emotional basis. So what we are suggesting to you is that when you find yourself in that sort of a quagmire, the concept of deactivating or the concept of quieting the mind really is a productive, viable, effective, easy to use tool. The thing that you have to understand, this is the thing that you don't really know, that we know, that's causing you to approach it in what we consider to be a harder way than you need to. When you think about all of the thoughts that you could think, we want to say to you, all of the thoughts that you could think aren't available to you right now because you're not on the vibrational wavelength with all of the thoughts that you could think, wanted or unwanted. They're just not all available to you. The only ones that are available to you are those that are in the vicinity of where you are, which means those that are in the vicinity of where you've been practicing. So to try to sort it out thought-wise just doesn't work very well, because all you do is spin in your own juices, so to speak. But if you say, okay, I get it. I'm a thinker because I've got active thoughts, but I can quiet my mind by choosing to focus upon a feeling rather than upon a thought. As you listen to music or as you listen to a dripping faucet, as you focus upon something, now it's still thought, but it's focused with the intention of feeling an emotion rather than thinking a thought, it will diffuse your chaos so much quicker than if you try to think your way out of it. So let's say that you want to be in the zone, you want to be in the vortex, you want to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you're not. And you know you're not. So you fight against it. You think about how you should be doing better. You call yourself stupid. I've been listening to this for a while. I should have this by now. This really matters. And in every one of those statements, which is a thought that's powerful, you are activating the opposite of what you want to activate. And so instead of feeling a little better with each of those thoughts, you feel a little worse. You never stop in your awake state generating vibration or generating thought. Thought is always going on because you're always focused in some way. You can't smell without focusing. You can't hear without focusing. You can't see. You can't be alive in your body without some focusing going on. And focusing and thought are one and the same thing. So let's just say you can't turn that thought mechanism off. But do you know what is the most general word that we could give to a thought? Emotion. Let's look at an emotion right now as a really general thought. Your only work is to get into the vortex. You've done all the other work. You've done all of the other work. You are prepared. Your vortex is ripe. Your content is ready. You've thought it all through. You're ready to perform. You're ready to deliver. It's all right there for you. All you've got to do is get yourself in the deliverable mode. And the deliverable mode is feeling good. It's trusting yourself. It's knowing that you're good at this. It's expecting to do well. It's knowing that you don't have to get it just right first crack out of the box every time. It's knowing that your process is resilient enough that it can take you as you are. Don't try to force it. When you take the energy that creates worlds and you get crossways of it, you create chaos. When you take the energy that creates worlds and you come into alignment with it, what you create is magical and blissful and powerful and beneficial and feels good as you're doing it, you see.